When you're trying to blow up your channel on platforms like YouTube or TikTok, the biggest factor isn't always the initial idea itself. What truly decides if someone stops scrolling to watch your video is the sheer quality and precision of your delivery. Especially for long-form creators, this boils down to how effectively you can transform those lengthy videos into highly snackable, viral-ready clips. Manually editing these shorts, however, becomes an absolute nightmare for most people. Think about it. Hours spent just scrubbing through footage, finding the perfect cuts, meticulously adding captions, and trying to guess the best possible moments. Then you have the painful process of manually scheduling every single clip across all your different social media platforms. It's this sheer amount of repetitive work that causes countless creators to either post sporadically or hire an entire editorial team just to keep up. But what if you could delegate this entire repetitive process to artificial intelligence while absolutely preserving your unique tone and established style? That is precisely where this tool, which I'll call Vizard for now, steps in, and honestly, it has been a complete game changer for me and so many other creators I follow. Here is the fundamental breakdown of what this software actually does for you. Vizard automatically sifts through your entire long-form video and intelligently finds the exact segments with the highest potential to go viral. It then instantly transforms those golden moments into perfectly trimmed, captioned, and platform-formatted clips ready for posting. Forget manual scrubbing, stop guessing which part will perform well, and ditch juggling a dozen different editing applications. You simply upload your lengthy podcast, your travel vlog, or that hour-long YouTube video, or you can just paste the source URL. Next, you choose exactly how aggressively you want the AI to select the most explosive clips from the footage. You also select a general channel style or a specific content persona that matches your brand's established energy. Then, you just hit generate, and within seconds, sometimes a minute at most, your content pipeline is instantly refilled. This consistency is exactly why creators who used to struggle to post daily suddenly maintain a reliable stream of new material. Let me walk you through the main features I rely on every single week and explain precisely why they hold so much weight. First up is the core feature, its ability to automatically edit those highly viral-ready clips from your long videos. This is genuinely the function I utilize for about 90% of the short-form content that I push out across my accounts. The AI analyzes the entire file for natural spikes in the audio or visual energy like sudden laughter, loud audience reactions, or major shifts in the core topic. Based on these detected beats, it then suggests several clips that show a much higher probability of earning actual clicks from new viewers. Crucially, you can manually control this selection process using what feels like an intensity slider or an inspiration weight setting. If you keep this setting low, the AI will prioritize calmer moments that rely on deep context and complex explanations. But if you crank that slider all the way up to the maximum setting, it aggressively hunts for those jaw-dropping reactions or powerful cliffhanger statements. I tend to keep mine set high most of the time because those moments immediately translate into views, but for evergreen content, keeping it low is often superior. The overall user interface for managing this entire process is designed to be incredibly, almost stupidly, simple. The typical path involves going to the main dashboard, choosing to upload or paste your video link, picking your output style, and finally hitting that generation button. When it comes to selecting a style, you have two main options for generating your clips. You can choose from a set of pre-configured channel personas, like something labeled as educational and energetic, or perhaps storytime and chill. Alternatively, and this is where the real power lies, you can build out your own totally custom persona from the ground up. Within your custom setup, you can precisely define things like the preferred length of your opening hook to capture attention. You also set the precise caption font, select your established brand colors for visual continuity, and dictate how aggressive the automated jump cuts should be. Even your caption style can be fine-tuned, deciding between full, complete sentences or short, punchy, buzzworthy lines designed for impact. Once I set up my preferred persona with a few example clips and my specific brand colors, every new batch of content immediately feels authentically mine. This initial setup time translates directly into a monumental saving of time across every single generation cycle afterward. Now, if you are the type of creator who really needs to tailor clips precisely to current formats or fast-moving trends, this next feature is your secret weapon, or it is called the prompt-to-clip functionality, and it moves beyond simple selection weights. Instead of just hoping the general AI picks the right narrative spot, you actively type in a detailed request for what you want to see. For example, you could type a command like, find a 20 to 30 second moment with a really clear hook, intense emotion, and a line that absolutely sounds like a major cliffhanger for the audience. You can even add formatting instructions directly into the prompt, such as demanding top captions in a bold yellow color scheme. You can also dictate the exact structure of the very first 2 seconds, like making sure it's a text-only hook to maximize scroll-stopping power. Vizard then searches the entirety of your source material specifically for segments that precisely match that complex description and generates the clip accordingly. I started utilizing this feature heavily when I needed more granular control over the specific content being pulled out of my recordings. For instance, I once prompted it to find moments across a whole podcast that carried the vibe of a teacher reacting to a crazy student story, and it delivered multiple usable segments. Now, let's be transparent. That very first AI generation is not always going to be 100% perfect in every single case. Sometimes the algorithm might miss a perfect eye contact moment, or, frustratingly, it might cut a crucial line right in the middle of a word. The critical part is that the tool allows you to initiate a redo or tweak the prompt, and it is surprisingly adept at fixing those initial small errors. I recall one specific instance where a generated clip had a noticeable dip in the audio level, which made the final punchline sound completely weak and ineffective. I simply hit redo and added a specific note to the prompt. Please find a clip where the punchline is fully audible and the reaction is clearly visible on screen, and it delivered a much cleaner outcome. Furthermore, you maintain full manual editing capabilities directly on the generated clip if you need a final touch. You can change the color of the overlaid text, reposition captions to avoid on-screen graphics, or trim an extra second or two off either end. You can even swap the aspect ratio on the fly, making it instantly ready for TikTok vertical or a wider YouTube short format. Ultimately, this gives you the full power of video editing, but without any of the customary associated pain points or tedious setup. Another genuinely useful feature that mirrors the old face swap concept, but is far more practical for the modern content creator, is the branding or host swap option. Imagine you have an interview where the guest provides the most compelling soundbite, but you want the final clip to feature your face or your logo as the on-screen anchor. Vizard can seamlessly replace static thumbnails, intelligently overlay your facecam footage, or automatically insert your channel's specific intro bumper. This ensures the resulting clip looks completely native to your channel ecosystem, even if the original source material was different. It is important to note that this function is not about creating creepy, unrealistic deepfakes of people, which is a completely different ethical realm. It is purely designed for professional branding tasks, like adding your specific facecam in the corner or standardizing the lower third graphics across an entire batch of content. I personally use this heavily when I repurpose episodes featuring many different guests, allowing my main feed to maintain that instant audience recognition factor. Let's step back and be completely real for a moment by comparing this to the other editing tools currently available on the market. You have free or very cheap editors like CapCut or InShot, which are fantastic for template-based edits, but you still have to do the heavy lifting of finding those viral moments yourself. Then there is Descript, which excels brilliantly at transcript-based editing and some initial automated adjustments, but it often bogs down when trying to batch export numerous video files quickly. On the other end of the spectrum, you find full-service editing platforms that often charge hundreds of dollars every single month for human-assisted editing services. The specific, crucial gap that Vizard perfectly fills is that it automatically discovers the moments, formats them for every platform, and handles the final scheduling, all within one unified platform. The scheduling capability itself is another massive, undeniable time saver that you cannot overlook in your daily operations. Vizard's auto-schedule feature completely removes the need for you to post content in real time or constantly set manual reminders in your phone. You simply define your ideal posting frequency, select all the target platforms, and the AI takes care of queuing those clips out over days or even weeks. This specific automation became an absolute lifesaver for me during those brutally busy weeks when I genuinely had zero mental energy left to manage my social media presence. The integrated content calendar then provides you with a fantastic high-level overview of everything slated to go live. From there, you can easily drag clips to shift their date, pause any scheduled post if necessary, or quickly swap out captions if news breaks and something becomes irrelevant. For teams collaborating on content, this calendar view is clutch because everyone can instantly see the entire release strategy without endless Slack messages. Now, I want to be completely candid with you regarding the actual cost structure because that is a major deciding factor for everyone. Some competing tools maliciously lock their absolute best, most powerful features behind a much higher, more expensive subscription tier. Others force you into a pay-per-export model, which quickly becomes unpredictable as your output volume increases significantly. Vizard uses a tier system where the mid to premium plans become the superior value if you plan on churning out a truly large volume of short-form content every month. These higher tiers typically grant you a fixed monthly allotment of credits, which directly translate to a set number of generated clips for that period. You also get priority processing for faster turnarounds and the ability to publish across multiple channels directly from the tool. For creators just starting out, the most basic plan is absolutely usable, but if daily posting is your goal, the premium level offers much better long-term value. Remember to check when you sign up, as they frequently offer promotional deals or bonus starter credits so you can fully test the workflow. When you weigh this against the constant cost of hiring dedicated editors or subscribing to numerous separate apps, this solution is demonstrably cheaper and much, much faster for the output you receive. I want to wrap up with a few quick practical tips based on my own experience using the platform consistently over the last several months. First and foremost, always upload the highest quality long-form source video you possibly can. The AI's analysis performs significantly better when it has very clear, distinct audio and easily recognizable on-screen reactions to work with. Take the time once to create your perfect style guide or persona inside the system, and then make sure you reuse that exact setting every single time. Consistent thumbnails, consistent caption colors, and consistent framing make your entire channel look incredibly professional at a glance. When a specific meme or popular topic starts trending online, use the prompt to clip feature to hunt for segments in your backlog that match that current energy. Finally, while the AI does the massive heavy lifting for caption generation, do not be afraid to do a very quick manual pass just to correct any minor typos or timing errors on critical lines. The bottom line is this: if your primary goal is to successfully scale your content creation without hitting the wall of burnout, this tool is genuinely one of the best I have encountered. It is not going to be flawless. No artificial intelligence system has achieved perfection yet, but it completely eliminates the most tedious, repetitive grunt work from your workflow. This frees you up to concentrate your valuable energy on the truly creative aspects, like brainstorming new ideas or coordinating exciting collaborations. Compared to the nightmare of stitching together 5 different apps or perpetually paying an army of editors, using this feels genuinely liberating. If you are curious to see the difference for yourself, I have placed a link down in the description box below for you to check out. And yes, they almost always offer some form of a generous starter credit or a risk-free trial period so you can see tangible results before any actual financial commitment is required. Seriously consider this if you are sitting on a huge backlog of amazing long-form video content and you crave that consistent stream of short-form material. This tool transformed my personal weekly editing sessions, which used to take hours, into a mere 10-minute setup followed by a quick review process. Go ahead and try it out, play around with those custom persona settings, and test the prompt feature to see what you uncover. You will quickly realize just how many more high-potential clips are hidden inside your existing long videos than you ever originally thought possible. People often severely underestimate just how massive of a multiplier consistent short-form content is for overall channel discovery. Once you successfully nail that consistent daily or weekly cadence, scaling everything else that follows becomes significantly easier and much more predictable.